Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show.
It's been a while since I felt like summer was on my side. I miss my friends and late night drives. I'm so over Netflix, always being stuck inside. Not feeling ready for the day. Excuses made up. Procrastinate and waste the whole damn day. Now when I wake up, I wonder how long I'm gonna have to stay at home. It's been a year now. I wish this shit would finally go away. We all need something to look forward to. It's been a while since I felt like summer was on my side. I miss my friends and late night drives. I'm so over Netflix, always being sunk inside.
I get that it's better than nothing, but
I need to feel the people huddled all around me as they sing the words we know. We are together, not alone. Do you remember? Every song, every word, every word we sing. Every song, every word, everybody knows. Every song, every word, everybody knows. Every song, every word. It's been a while since I felt like summer was on my side, but now you're here and we're alive. I'm so done with streaming, always ready to scream. When do we get to breathe without you killing me? I wanna live it up, but it feels like this summer. It's been a while since I felt like summer was on my side. I miss.
Yay.
Here we go. Hey, so we just experienced some crazy technical difficulties, but we're finally here, and I have Adam and Ryan from the awesome band Cold Weather Kids. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're happy to be here. Don't oversell us now. Don't oversell. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That's my job. I have to oversell you.
Shoot low.
No. No, we're excited to be here. We're excited to be here.
Well, thank you both for being here. So I came across your music. First thing I did when I was done listening to everything that you had out there was reach out to have you guys on the show, and you're here now, so everything worked out pretty well. So thanks for creating that music that brought us together.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for listening to everything we have.
Oh,
My
man.
God. That's a whole 6-7 minutes of commitment
That's
right there.
hard. Man.
It is. It was 14 minutes. I'll never get back. But
Imagine
That's
the
amazing.
embarrassment when he's like, man, that was 45 minutes of the podcast. I'm never getting back now. Shoot.
Not at all.
So
No,
it's
thank
like-
you. Thank you for listening.
He's
though.
like, I invested this far and might as well go all the way.
I'm pot committed now, so I'm pushing all my chips in to the center of the table. But no, seriously, it's awesome when I find something and I hear it and it makes me excited, and that's exactly what it was when I found Cold Weather Kids. It made me excited and made me have to reach out to you.
Awesome.
To just, especially in today's day and age, to try and find music is hard enough, right? And to find music that really connects with you is even harder. So that's why being able to talk to the artists such as yourself and say thank you for what you did is partly, my favorite thing to do is be like, thank you, and we can end the show from there. But it's awesome when it's something that isn't repetitive. It's something that doesn't sound like everything else out there, regardless of whatever genre you want to fall under. When people subgenre label shit. It's just great music, and I appreciate what it is you've done with the limited music you've already created, but the great music you've created.
Well, my ego's at an all-time high. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's a lot of fun making something. It took Ryan and I just a long time to find an identity as songwriters,
figure
together.
ourselves out.
Yeah, like this is not our first band together, and so for you to recognize it and to enjoy it, that brought something unique to you is music to my ears. So I'm happy to hear you say that. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. And you guys have been, in trying to do as much research as I could when I was like, wow, I really like these guys. And it was really hard to find a lot of stuff on you. So I'm hoping this gives that opportunity for people to learn more about the both of you. I mean, the thing that I found was you guys met in college, right? And you've been friends ever since. So, how did music start to become? I'll start with Ryan. I always go back to when I was a kid. There was two pivotal moments for music when the first time I heard music differently when I was a small child, and then the first time I found music on my own that I felt belonged to me. Do you remember those two moments as a child when music started to become something?
Great questions. Early on, like as I guess in childhood, so my mom was like a music theater major. So she was dancer, singer, always humming along, and she played Elton John early on. So I can vividly remember being pretty attached to Crocodile Rock. And then my mom personally liked Candle in the Wind. And so my first exposure with music was mostly with piano. And I just didn't have the attention span to it, even though I was in piano lessons since I was like 6 years old. And then your
Like
second,
other 90 million of us.
Yeah, sure. It's like we can't, as a 6-year-old, especially a boy like that, sitting at a piano and being like, these are the notes, this is the scale. And I was like, I want to hit them. And I really loud and crude. So I was very, very naturally drawn to the drums. And so that was actually my very, very first instrument that I really took seriously, to kind of get ahead to your second question, because that would happen for me my sophomore year of high school. There was a guy a year older than me that was a drummer singer in a punk band called Sorry About Your Couch. And he was a really good singer and still a pretty good friend to this day. Still lives in my hometown. So every time I'm back to visit my parents, I give him a line and say, what's up? And kind of shoot the shit that way. But he was very talented and very showman. And I was a lot more like shy, a little bit more reserved. But I did buy my first drum set from him. And when I started my first band my senior year,
what was the name of that first band?
This band was called Whispered Hallows. And it was like a prog screamo band. So I was going to say, like, the scene had moved on from like punk, ska-ish, like no effects with horns. That was what was being played when I was first kind of finding rock music on my own. And then when I 2 years later started to make a band, like the screamo things from like the Warped Tour era really started to hit. The Attacks, the Bless the Falls, Every Time I Dies, Pierce the Veil. A lot of these like hardcore.
Such drama.
Yeah. But that
I'm
was
crying listening to you name the bands.
Well, I mean, as a drummer, it was like I just wanted to play with people that knew guitar, that weren't playing, like classical nylon acoustic guitar. I wanted to play heavy driven music like I'd seen. That was what really got me excited about the idea of actually playing music, other than, oh, this is just something that my parents put in front of me sometime. Who cares, right? No, it definitely did, as the question is portrayed, shifted my world forever in terms of like, I want to do this. And then began like the long vendetta. My first brainchild was like, we got to be good enough to play Warped Tour. We got good enough to play Warped Tour. We won like the Ernie Ball Battle of the Bands 2010, 11, and 12 and performed in the Milwaukee dates. So I got like good exposure and good experience that way. And then the band hated each other because we got too much of an ego and we were really young. So then I went to college and I met this guy, and now it's his turn because I just ranted for a bit, but I gave you good answers. So now it's his turn, and then we'll meet in the middle and talk about our origin story. And
there you go.
Yeah. See, I tied it together. It's fine.
No, you're good. Did you? I'm just left with the image of like Ryan, who I know to be like, when I met Ryan, lip piercing, tattoos, metal kid, like just being like walking through the halls of the music building, and he's just like, la, 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 like, la, 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 la. I'm like, oh, that was the song in your head the whole time. Okay,
yeah,
Crocodile Rock. All right,
I love that shit.
Yeah, well,
for a small kid, Crocodile Rock, I completely understand why he loved it.
And in like recent years, the actual Taron Egerton movie that came out about Elton John's life, Rocket Man, fucking if you haven't seen it, I am not one to get behind musicals in terms of movies at all. Moulin Rouge, Across the Universe, fuck off. Hate that shit.
Sure.
Hate it. I'm not joking. Like, to each their own. You like it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But Rocket Man, watch that shit.
Really great. You're talking about a musical biography instead of a terrible fucking musical.
Speaking music to my ears there.
So so to be fair, like hold on Moulin Rouge here. The one time I saw it, I remember the first maybe 10 or 15 minutes because then I was somewhere else mentally for the rest of that film.
I know burlesque is okay because they got
I get that.
But, no! I blacked out. I was wasted.
I understand.
I was wasted.
Say, you watched it with the sound off, right?
No.
Or that's a good turn.
I was super drunk.
Okay, that's good too. Whatever gets you through the film, right? When you lean over afterwards, you're like, "Honey, what happened?"
I had no idea. I was gone. But
hijack this from him so good.
Shane, I didn't want to have this one question just take up too much time.
Yes, he did.
No. Did you do you want to grab the next question, or did you want me to answer as well?
I want to know what your musical journey was like from the first time you heard something to when it changed for you and you found your own thing.
Yeah, I actually do have like a couple of really keen like memories, kind of like what Ryan was describing. Like, so when I was in elementary school, I started to get like right when I was at the age where I was like able to cognitively understand just more something more complex than like pop music, if you will. Like, I moved away from like the 18s and the Backstreet Boys, which I still love, like, don't get me wrong, but like I started to move beyond that a little bit. And my dad he would play a lot of like The Who and Foreigner and a lot of classic rock stuff. And I was always drawn to things that felt like very epic and very kind of intense, right? And so like one of the first songs that I ever loved when I was really, really little was Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who. And I think that's like the feeling of listening to like the way that those kinds of songs, right, can just like rock and grab you by the heart. Like when I was, 8 years old, that was right around like fourth grade or so when I started to really get into it. When I was right around fourth, fifth grade, those songs started to like stand out to me. And then I remember then I got really into Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here. And then I got really into Pink Floyd's The Wall, right? And this is like middle school stuff. And I was
How high were you in middle school?
I was exactly 5'10". And no, I didn't do anything. Like, I was a very straight edge kid. I was just really drawn to the intensity of the emotions that came out during like listening to those songs. And so, that I got my first guitar in 7th grade. I saw Van Halen play, and Eddie was my favorite of all time at the time. And I was just watching him, play his guitar solo that he does every show. And I was like, holy shit, if I live my life not having been able to convey, right, put out into the universe the emotion that sound is putting out right now, like, I will have missed out. And so I got my first, like, and I was very little, and I got my first guitar and started playing from there. And then, it's easy to say the rest is history, but like all throughout high school, my friends would go to the park, and like over the summer, my friends would go to the park, and I would just learn AC/DC tracks. I would just learn every song that I could, just buying CDs, playing them on my boombox, learning by ear. I was taking guitar lessons too. And then I was in high school bands and whatnot as well. And that was all well and good. But like, it's funny too, because something that's very strong in me is a very analytical side. And so I started to like keep track of, and you see this a lot with like people who like to geek out about music, right? Like top 5s, top 10s, the greatest of all times. Like, and I was forming those opinions, and who are the greatest songwriters, and
forming your identity around that.
Yeah, forming my identity.
Because that's what you thought was cool, and they made it cool.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
It's hard not to, though, right? Because that's you pull inspiration from that, and you're like, oh, wow, I love this. I want to be like this, and then you find something new, and then you want to sound like that and be like that, and that's a hard thing to escape too when it's all new.
Yeah.
We all went through MySpace posting other bands' lyrics as an expression of our inwards, most dark thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Back.
Well, I guess I can wrap up this long story by like, then I got into pop punk, and I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing that's ever been made. And now we have the Cold Weather Kids.
The ultimate red flag for any woman anywhere.
No.
No, I think it would be
the
lip piercing and mascara.
Oh man,
Whistling Crocodile Rock.
It was more about more about the swoop, baby. Let me tell you.
You're like, what's that guy's deal? But anyways, but yeah, that's the bit. I was always drawn to that intensity, and I always wanted to give out some of that intensity as well. That was kind of like what got me started. So,
nice. What was the pop punk band that drew you in, Adam?
Oh, it's got to be the classic. So it was Yellow Card, Fall Out Boy, of course, and then Blink, Green Day, and a lot of Reliant K.
Sunday, really?
Oh yeah, and then Take You Back Sunday came later.
That's like when I think of you, I think of like you were like the TBS to like My Yellow Card, and those are like the bands that you and I listened to. Like it's like we had heard of the other bands, but then we started hanging out, and it's like, you got to check out their discography. And you were like, no, you got to check out their discography.
That's true.
And like, that was it. And then over the years, as we've been friends now for like 11, 12 years, we ended up actually seeing both bands together live a couple of times now, I think.
Yeah.
So,
but it started with the classics for me. With those Take It Back Sunday and the emo wave.
Classic.
Right?
I'm fucking old as fuck if those are classics now.
They're classics. Like that's on classic rock stations.
Hey man, our birthdays start with 19 birth year.
Yeah. Cool.
So mine do. Them probably much sooner than yours. But I digress.
I might surprise you.
So from that moment and finding your own identities in music and then meeting each other, what was that? I mean, hearing you guys in the same room right now, I can tell what kind of friendship formed, but how did it start? Because I know where it is now, and our fans will know, and so will yours, that it's taken quite a left turn probably from how it originally began.
You tell the story the best about like how we met, and like when we started making music together. Why don't you
When we last left our heroes.
No, when we
Ryan
first met our heroes.
I know, but like, you know, we each had our own origin story, which we just gave before, and I was just
That's true. So bring us to college. Then.
So yeah. Right. Like I said, it's like my first band after 6 years, from 2006 to 2012. Like, we hated each other. We all had egos. We didn't agree with like the direction it was going. It was like a means to an end. And our very, very last show was Warped Tour in Milwaukee of 2012. And at that point, I had gone back to college and I had met Adam, but it was like, it's basically that band had to end for Adam and I to do something. So it's relevant to share that. But when we knew that we really weren't going to like make another record, or we weren't really going to seriously go back out on the road anymore, I had already, so I'm actually like 2 years old, 2.5 years older than Adam. So I started college before him, but we got, Whispered Hollis got like a small-ish kind of opportunity deal that we took seriously. And I took 2 years off of college, and that timing ended up being crucial to be able to meet Adam the way that we did. Because when I went back, I changed actually from an animation major to a music major. So I was in the music building a lot more. And when I ran into Adam, I mean, I think it was seriously like the very first conversation. He was like, are you like doing like anything with a band? And I was like, I'm looking actually to kind of start something here based in Chicago, because both of us are from the Midwest. I'm based out of Wisconsin. That's where my parents still live. And he's from Michigan. So we kind of met in Chicago. And that's actually the origin of the name Cold Weather Kids too, even though our original drummer came up with the name. So I do want to credit him, not say like it came up from either one of us, but it was super relevant and we ran with it because it definitely hit home for how we were kids in a lot of really harsh cold weather. And so Adam and I met, like, I didn't think we had any classes yet, but we pretty much like that very first semester I went back to school, started hanging out outside of classes and tried to start coming up with a concept for a band, which turned out to be a project we called Glass Castles. And ultimately, it was just like the way that we look back on it now, like it was purely a college project full of other music majors. We had a girl singer as well. And Adam and I considered all three of us like the lead singers of it. We recorded like a 6-song EP with the same producer that we still work with today. I actually work for him. That's part of the origin story as well. So
you asked me to play guitar for your record.
That's right. And I also had not really had any other experience other than being a drummer and a singer and a little bit of piano. So I asked you
lot of experience.
I asked you also to teach me how to play guitar.
Oh yeah.
That's right. I kind of forgot about that too. So like literally we would book out practice rooms, not related to classes or anything, literally just so he could teach me how to play guitar, because I wanted to learn how to be competent enough to be like a singer-songwriter, at least on acoustic with you. Because remember, like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, you get like those memories from Facebook. And there was like one of those videos that popped up was seriously him and I playing acoustic Christmas songs in a Starbucks on Michigan Avenue in Chicago. And I was like, holy shit, we come a long way. Yeah. I was like, I probably couldn't even play a G chord back then.
You want to know what's so fucking funny about that in general? Is like, so Ryan asked me to play guitar on his record, and we basically, like, the short of what happened is the two like pop punk kids found each other at a school where everybody's learning jazz. Right?
Yeah, and trying to be artsy.
And trying to be like very highbrow artsy, which I was also trying to be at the time. Right. So like I started teaching Ryan guitar, but I don't like teach him regular guitar. I'm teaching him like jazz guitar. So Ryan's like, if there are any guitar players out there, like Ryan's like thumbing chords and I'm teaching him how to play like 9s and 7s and everything. Like he's not learning like power chord guitar. And it was like actually really advanced stuff. And it's so silly that I taught you that, but at the same time, I don't know, it's kind of dope now because you can do it.
I did not do Smoke on the Water as my first guitar. Like every other 12 does.
He was playing like hard. I was like forcing him to play hard stuff. It was good, so silly.
Because then when I wanted to, be more versatile my senior year with that, when we graduated, I actually did take a full year. I took Guitar Techniques 1 and 2, and it made me a lot better rounded musician.
Yeah.
So...
That's it.
Yeah.
So pop
Go for
punk
it.
kids looking for, 3 chords and a half truth, learning jazz guitar just makes those 3 chords much easier when you get into that pop punk.
It makes
That's
it so
true.
even still today, like I do not consider myself a guitarist by any means, but I play bass and I sing in Cold Weather Kids because like I know my notes and I know the fretboard. And I'm with a very, very competent musician, Adam, sitting right next to me. He's like if I consider myself like the idea farm where like I start a lot of the songs, they are perfected. They are nuanced because I have him in the room because he can hear these more complex voicings, which come from those jazz teachings. He can hear the sevenths. He can hear when it's an inversion. He could hear a different direction to go in terms of a harmonic progression or a cadence that pulls the ear in a different way and thus gives it a different emotional feeling. And I don't have that natural ability with my ear that he does.
And combined, we ride. Ha
It's like where it's at.
Yeah.
So the way you guys talk about it is, do you remember the aha moment where you're like, oh, this is it? Like,
You know what's
Kinda.
so funny? Wait.
In different places because
I'm
we've had
thinking
that,
of an aha moment.
we've
Maybe
had
it's different
that
than
like
yours.
over many years. Like there was the aha moment when we really realized that like we're each other's best friends, like no doubt about it.
Yeah.
There's
when you
the
built bunk beds in your step parents' room and had more space for activities?
no, it was like let's put like I was not the most diligent about holding down a college job, so sometimes it was a little short on cash. And like let's just like here's a visual for you. I wanted coffee, but I didn't have a coffee grinder. So what did I do? I put coffee beans in a plastic bag, and Adam's like, you could smash them with a hammer, and that's exactly what I did to try and make coffee in college because that's what good friends do in terms of lending each other ideas.
Yeah.
Or Adam's super rinky-dink studio apartment, drinking like box wine and stuff like that. Just those type of memories. And being poor, young, and those kind of like first time in life on your own situations, and truly having like a friend there that like gets you like inside. It's not just a friend because you happen to live in the same area. Like I tell some of my music students who are in high school, middle school, so-and-so is a bully, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, high school's a joke. You have to be where your parents live. Then you finally get the choice to go out and make your own path. And this was our first opportunity in Chicago to literally make our own path. We got to make our own choices, set our own curfew, and the people that we chose to be around actually legitimately meant something to us. That's like where we kind of coined the terms like brothers by choice.
Yeah. It's funny that I love that all when Shane asks, an aha moment.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, all the broy stuff we did in college and stuff. I love that because you're like, haha, friendship and stuff.
I'm chemistries because that's what makes me most confident and comfortable when we write.
Right. And
Yeah.
so the aha moment for me, actually, that came to mind, right? The first thing that came to mind when you asked that question, Shane, was the first time like Ryan and I figured out that the Cold Weather Kids was the band that we were always supposed to be in, but weren't mature enough to make, which is funny to say because we're not a very mature band.
No, we're not, but we make what we love now.
But we make what we love, and we've kind of pulled together our identity around that, because that band Glass Castles in college, that was like 3 lead singers, a jazz guitar player, and a metal drummer.
Arrangements all over the place.
Just
and like, so here's what I mean by like, we only make what we love now. And even though our content is a little bit immature, I say it that way. I think that's the best phrasing, because when he mentions Glass Castles, I legitimately think we were trying to make what was cool, not what we genuinely liked. And I think that's the difference.
Well, yeah, probably at that time you were like, okay, what's going to set us apart? So we have to be,
of course.
When everybody's searching for an identity, they don't really want an identity. They want something that's completely not an identity. And that's exactly probably what you were doing with Glass Castles. Is like, we don't want to be put into a box. We don't want anybody to know who we are. This is the sound that we're going to make. And this is, and everybody's going to be like, what the fuck is this? And not have a name for it. So talking about being mature and immature, you're allowed to be both at the same time. My favorite quote that I live by still to this day is, I want to live my life childlike without being childish. And
I like
That's
that.
great. By the way, I fucked your dad. Just
Yeah, no, I love that quote.
no, that's great.
so when you finally get to that point where you're Cold Weather Kids is the band that you were always supposed to be in, but weren't mature enough at the time. I mean, when you come into that and that realization hits, was it easier to just start creating music because you're like, oh, well, this is what we were supposed to do?
Damn
It was
near
so
effortless.
yeah, it was so much easier. Like a lot of what the Cold Weather Kids has become is truly just what Ryan's best at, and what, like, in terms of making music, right?
Yeah.
It's what Ryan's best at and it's what I'm best at. And we're like, why don't we just do those things and stop overcomplicating everything else? We're like, a big mantra for this band in general is just no stress.
No stress.
We have one rule, which is
Have the most fun.
yeah, you have to be having fun. And if you're really stressed out about it, if you're feeling stressed out about the band, the music, if you're like getting those negative stress vibes, you're doing something generally wrong, right? Like, not in the image of this band.
And
And-
nobody wants to go to that party if you're a performer.
Right,
Nobody.
yeah.
No, because you
people pick up on
exude that. Yeah, you exude that. And I
Yeah.
was talking to my last guest, and I said, they were doing a reunion show, and I said, what's next? And he's like, what do you mean? And I go, well, I saw that glimmer in everyone's eye on stage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that means there's still a spark there,
Sure.
Yeah.
and because people, whether or not they notice it, they realized later on, they're like, oh, I could tell that they were pissed at each other. Like it seemed like they didn't want to be there. The drummer was going through something that night. You can tell if you're really paying attention at a show that you want to be at.
Totally.
Totally. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, it's a big reason that, like, no stress is so important to me in this band is, like, so I worked for a couple of years at a recording studio in Hollywood. I was a producer and a mixing engineer. And I watched bands come in and record, and they were so fucking stressed
All
about
the time.
about the quality of their songs, about the wrong things, sometimes about the right things, about getting enough shows that these were local bands most of the time, right? So it's like, you're getting your friends to your shows. They were so stressed about all these details, and it was such a you could watch it just become a weight on them. And recording a record was such an overwhelming, stressful thing for them sometimes. And it's not to, like, judge those bands or to say that anybody's doing anything right or wrong. I just saw that and I thought to myself, like, I know that I don't want to feel like that in a band, because life is already hard enough. And if I'm in a band and it feels and I have that level of drama and stress going on in my head, like, all the time, I'm just gonna pop, man. I won't be able to take it. So,
especially since the band is like, really, in this day and age, a purely voluntary thing that really does not show any sort of promise in
Right.
making returns. So you gotta really enjoy what you're doing.
Mhm.
So yeah, like, yeah, in terms of just being out in, like, the underground scene, in terms of trying to get quality shows, make a reputation that feels like it's an authentic identity without trying too hard to be full of ourselves, conceited, or too preachy. That's another big thing with us, is like,
Yeah.
we poke fun at the world, yes, in our content, but we make sure anytime that we do that to also poke fun at ourselves is like the first example.
We try to. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell when someone takes a passion or a love and tries to make it a job. That's where the stress comes in. I've had people, they're like, why don't you have ads? Why don't you have this? And I'm like, because once I say yes to that, now my passion project of having an awesome show where I'm just trying to help bands that I actually like and really care about, then it becomes a fucking job. And now I'm putting pressure on myself. And I don't want to do that. Who wants to take something they love and add pressure to it? Let's just
Totally.
do what we love and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. It's
Couldn't
definitely
agree
where
more.
we're at.
Yeah.
It's definitely where we're at.
Love that.
So taking your passion and being the Cold Weather Kids, if someone walked up to you onto the street, you told them you were in a band, what song of yours would you play for them that you currently have out in the universe?
Currently,
What song of yours would you play for them that say, hey, this is the band that we are?
I really like Mercury's and Gatorade right now.
Yeah.
I really feel like that one's like, even though it's not our most like in terms of the numbers wise, everybody usually gravitates either towards Stolen Summer or Count to 10, which are great. We love those songs too. We're glad that they've done what they've done for us. But in terms of like, we love to describe ourselves. If you took two notable bands from the scene today that we both all, well, actually everybody in the band does enjoy, really inspired by, and we think is like a good mashup. It's like we take Blink-182 and their lightheartedness, and then we also take Pierce the Veil and their like edgy, harder rock. And that's really what we go for. We go for something that sometimes has a little bit of breakdown, a little bit more edge to it. But we love the pop form. If you said you listened to our entire catalog, so like "Keep Me Warm" basically was written like straight up inspired like by a Pierce the Veil song. To me, it sounds like a Pierce the Veil song, and I love that because I really wanted to write something that was harder edge like that. And I think it's a little bit more challenging and interesting to write in minor, which was another goal with that song.
It is, but I like "You're My Player" too.
Oh yeah, we're definitely playing that one a lot more prominently this year. That one is highly requested upon with other musicians in our scene, which is so funny.
Yeah.
I think because when I go through everything, like "You're My Player" too that's the one that I kept going back to. Like I'm like, I don't, because for sometimes when I hear something, I don't know what it is that hit me, right? And I always go back to it. I'm like, why do I keep going back to this? And then I just sit back and I'm like, oh, I don't fucking know, but I'm going back to it and I'm just going to keep listening to it.
That's interesting. So my answer to the question is Stolen Summer, because the producer in me goes, that's your best song. And just says, that's your best song. That's what people should hear first. You like Player 2. Would Player 2 be your answer to that question?
Is that what you would show? Like, if you're like, you got to check out this band, that's what you would play?
Oh,
no.
Okay. He says, no. All right.
No, I wouldn't.
What would you do?
Lay it on me, Daddy.
It would be Mercury is in Gatorade.
Oh, sick. That's my favorite song. Yeah.
It's like the heavy.
You're My Player 2 is like, is my song. Like that belongs to me.
Yeah.
Like, this is,
I love that,
my portion of the band. Like, okay, this is why I love them, but this is why you're going to love them. You know, that's the type of thing that I go for when I listen to music and I listen to songs. I'm like, okay, I know a majority of the world, people who have pop ears or like certain music here, this is the song that's going to pull you towards this band. And then I let them listen to it. And then I go, this is the song that pulled me to the band. It's usually different.
That's cool.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. We try to live in like the pop form, I would say 75% of the time. And then we like split it between something that could be a dash of, like, I updated our Instagram bio recently to say a lot of pop punk, little emo with a dash of metal. That's like kind of what I put on there. Because like we'll have an upcoming release this year. We do have, if I can talk about that, I can't really reveal too much about it, but I will tell you that we got not just one or two songs coming, but quite a few.
Nice.
And one of those on this release is definitely notably heavy, to try and write more again, like Keep Me Warm, just for a song, just to show that we have that side of us. Also, because Adam and I both, even though we're musicians, we're artists, we both have a background in athletics. I'm tall, I'm 6'3", really tall and lanky. I played basketball my entire life. It's ingrained in my culture, being, a Chicagoan in the Michael Jordan days.
Yeah.
And Adam is super fit. If you like saw this guy, it's like,
stop.
Yeah, he works out a lot, and he definitely got me in the best shape of my life. And he comes from a little bit of a football background. So him and I, even though we're musicians, we like to talk football, we like to talk basketball. And so this heavier song that will be coming out in this new record will be geared towards competition. And it was kind of written by inspiration for that.
Well, that's awesome. I love the teaser. And I the way that you describe it and things being different and exactly how you changed your bio on Instagram, what I enjoy about that is a lot of times bands find their recipe, right? And they find a recipe, they don't oversalt it, they don't overpepper it. They just, this is our recipe, this is how we sound, and this is what we're going for. But I enjoy when you can take a bunch of different sounds and create something that there's something in here for everyone. And that's important too, especially in today's day and age with everyone's capacity to just find music, right? Like a lot of people don't go down that rabbit hole and listen to that whole album. They're just listening to songs. So when you can create something that's completely different and songs that are different than the last song, that's a huge advantage. And I think people don't take enough out of their own backgrounds to say, hey, I listen to this. I can also play this. And in taking a metal or, a rock song or an emo song or a ska, like just trying to put something together so there's always something for someone to listen to when they tune in to listen to Cold Weather Kids.
Yeah, I mean, for like our drummer is probably the most heaviest influenced out of all of us, like hands down. I'd
That
probably
guy's
say, right?
his music taste is so intense.
Right, and
I
so it's
love
like
it.
he loves that kind of stuff. You went through a very legit Bring Me the Horizon phase and Periphery phase.
Went through.
Still in it.
Still in. I discovered Bring Me the Horizon recently, and they're currently my favorite band.
Yeah, right. I being, the background as a drummer singer, I adore early Under Oath, and they're they're like, for what I was like taught. I mean, in terms, I don't want to be going down this conversation of genre gatekeeping or subgenres at all, but like, do consider Under Oath in my mind like modern metal. That's like they're harder that way.
Yeah.
They didn't really have like breakdowns that were like chuggy, so I didn't consider them like progressive hardcore screamo or anything like that. They were like heavy edge vocals, super intense guitars, and that's what was always taught to me when I was younger for like Motley Crue and Slipknot. Intense, in your face, high driven guitar, that's metal. And I was like, okay, so this must be like metal of my days. When I'm speaking from like the minds of discovering them as like a teenager when I'm 17 years old. I'm like, this is heavy, but I also like it. It doesn't sound like Fall Out Boy, but I can dig it. Why do I dig it? Right. So like we have those phases where we all go through heavier music. Why can't we have a phase of our portfolio, content, album, whatever way you want to phrase it, where we also have just a touch of heaviness too? Totally. That's the way that we see it.
Yeah.
And then, trying not to also surprise anyone, maybe like 3 songs later, oh, here's an acoustic ballad.
Well, and that's what, those genres and the gatekeepers of the genre label, I had a band too that like I fell in love with Amity Affliction, and I tried to tell somebody about it and they listened to it like, yeah, I'm not into that Scream Store stuff. And I go, oh, so you didn't listen to it. I'm like, because I'm like, they're fucking metal. I'm like, you didn't listen to it. I know you're a metalhead. I'm like, so you didn't really listen to it. You were just like, you heard the guy's voice and then you were out. Meanwhile, it's some of the greatest shit you'll fucking hear.
Right. Yeah.
Like, forget you, man. Like, I'm not going to try anymore.
Yeah. It's interesting though. The first thing that I thought about when you described that was like, that's how listeners are though. It's like they'll just be like, I love like the classic rock sound, but I don't like Dave Grohl's voice, so they're the worst band ever. People just will change on a dime.
In relation to that, it used to be in music that the chorus, your hook, was the most important part of the song, and it's because of this kind of topic of discussion right here, how people are so first impression, ADHD, minimal attention span. Why I think, and I will argue, yes, the hook and the chorus is still important, but your intro might in fact be more important.
It could, it has to keep you. And so I used to look at that where I would always say the most important songs on albums, it needed to be track 1, track 5, and the second to last song.
Totally. That's a good, that's a good way to think about it. What do you think the best second to last song on a record is of all time? Go, Shane.
Oh, wow. Oh my God. So I'm probably going to say, for me, it's the Posies, and it is
really the second to last song. That's notoriously what I've been taught is like the track that you bury on the album.
Well, no, because so the Posies, How She Lied by Living, because it goes into a song that you're not ready for on the album. Now, this is one of my favorite albums of all time, and it's the Posies, Frosting on the Beater. And it just leads into like, oh my God, I can't like what's coming next, and then the next song just completely is like, what the fuck's going on right now? And then it makes you fall in love with both songs even more.
Oh, cool! I love that. I'll have to give that a listen. I've never listened to the Posies.
It's a power pop. So if you're into power pop, that's what I'll label it as, power pop.
I saw that the record came out in 1993. What is 1993 power pop? Because when I think of power pop, I actually think of like Ludo.
So Super Drag. Do you remember Super Drag? Maybe not. Maybe too young. So power pop to me back in the 90s, there was a lot of bands that I would say could have fell in that realm of power pop. Like even Counting Crows at a time could have been considered power pop.
Oh, really? All right.
But it was faster, jangly guitars, great vocals. Listen, you listen to it, you can write me an email on me tomorrow. But
no. I'm curious.
One of my favorite bands of all time. So but that's exactly, I go when people are like, oh, your favorite bands, and I'm like, the Posies and Face to Face. I'm like, completely two different bands. Like 100% two different bands. You have punk rock and then you have power pop, and you would never put both of them on a mixtape.
Sure. That's fun. You have varied, refined tastes, my friend. I love it. That's cool. Well, I'll listen to the Posies. I've never even heard of them. I don't know.
I get it. I get it. And, they were a little big, but not too big. And they were on DGC when that was a thing, but never broke that huge glass ceiling or glass castle window, as I can say.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's so many bands that are like 90s, 2000s. There's so many bands that made good music that just never got massive.
My entire record collection is that. Like,
when you said your favorite band was like the Posies and Face to Face, I was like, I bet I don't know anything in this guy's record collection. Because I'm like,
people come here and they see like I have bins and bins, and I'm very OCD. Everything is labeled alphabetical order. The albums are in alphabetical order too, by name of album. All my CDs, my tapes, everything, and people just come down and like, dude, it's like I'm in a record store, and they'll go through and they'll be like, the whole first section, be like, okay, I know this one thing. I'm like, you're missing out.
I love that. That's cool. I'm such a mainstream guy. Like I've always been like, what's my favorite pop punk band? Yellow Card. Like what's my favorite emo band? Like My Chem and Taking Back Sunday. Like I've never been an underground guy.
That's why we got Zach in the band, because every practice, there's like a fourth of the practice is just spent with him playing songs that we'll never know without him playing them for us.
Yeah.
Which is great because he actually exposes us to like
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. And a lot of it, might be like getting traction right now. So you kind of see what's current. He's really good with that. And I see that as like a valuable outlook and perspective that neither one of us currently have, which is good.
Yeah, we're definitely like, or at least I am. I'm definitely like a set in my ways, same record every time I get in the car kind of thing.
Desert Island, 5 albums. Totally fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't need any other records besides those 5 records.
So it's fun. Yeah. Zach's favorite band is Into It Over It, and
that's like Evan Weiss. I mean, and Evan Weiss is Into It Over It. He's got 5 other bands that he's in.
Yeah.
There. The Progress was his first one. He was in another one with fuck, I had him on the show. Oh God. How did I forget? I forget. But yeah, he's one of those guys too that like I get pissed off because he's so goddamn talented and all he does is create and help other people create. It's like it's unfair how talented he is.
You and Zach, so we could have our guitarist Zach, and you guys could literally do a whole episode on just how Evan Weiss is so goddamn talented.
Yeah,
and you guys would talk about nothing but that.
Yeah,
just every 40 seconds.
That motherfucker's
so motherfucker's so goddamn talented. Or Zach, as he likes to say, that is autistically talented right there. As he likes to say.
Sure.
Well, one of the things that I think is so awesome too is like when you ask, like Adam, you just said you're so into the mainstream, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And but what I would do is like I would look into who are those mainstream bands, who are their favorite bands, and then that's how you kind of find that, oh, this is where they come from. Like this is how they have it. Like you mentioned, Desert Island, 5 albums on a desert island. So like if you could pick one album and like there's no more music left in the world except for this one album in front of you, what album are you picking, Adam?
There's one album left in the world, and that's the only thing I'm going to listen to for the rest of my life, for all eternity.
For all eternity.
This band's mantra is no stress. I'm gonna have to. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna kick the question.
Punting on the question. Yeah. No.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm thinking like not just what is the greatest record of all time, right? Like what is my favorite record of all time? The first thing that came to mind is the Black Parade. I think that Mike M created something so special and walked the line between being, mainstream, poppy, pop punk, emo, theatrical. They kind of capitalized on a theatrical music thing that was coming through, those genres at the time with like Panic at the Disco and
they were. Even Fall Out Boy dabbled in that a little bit. Fully.
Fall Out Boy did that too a little bit, and like I feel like Mike Hem just did something. It's just so perfectly incredible. And like some of the lesser known tracks on the song, on the record, like This Is How I Disappear and The Sharpest Lives, like those songs have some moments and drops that are so intense. Like I have to, like if I'm at the gym and I'm lifting or something and like that,
told you he's fit.
Yeah. I like if This Is How I Disappear comes on, like there's a moment in that song where I have to like actually take stock and like kind of calm myself down, because I'll start like fidgeting and like you're in your own zone in your headphones, and I have to have a moment where I like check myself and I'm like, whoa, like do I look like I'm tweaking right now at the gym? Like I need to like chill, because this song like gets me so riled up. So yeah, the Black Parade, I would have to say.
Oh. How about you, Ryan?
From Under the Cork Tree. No
nice.
Question. I didn't have to think about it.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. That's a great record. It's a great record.
From front to back. May not necessarily be like some of my favorite. Like there's definitely some of my favorite pop punk songs of all time, but more so about how the record makes me feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In an era of my life.
That makes sense.
That's really why.
Yeah.
Well, I get that. And that's why I always point to, and when I started this show, I've always said the closest thing in reality we have to a time machine is music.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
as you hear a song, you smell it. You smell the smells that were going on at that time. You see the faces that were there at that time. And it is a legitimate time machine when you hear a song that just brings you back, in my 30 years, I'd say, brings me back 30 years ago. I'm like, I remember who I was with, what this song meant to me at that time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
agree with that.
Love-hate relationship with Mayday Parade based on my first real serious girlfriend like that.
Yeah. I hated the Dave Matthews Band for a long time.
Oh, I still do.
Because, I'm also not a fan, but yeah, but like, I couldn't even like listen to them if they were on the radio for a long time, because I knew somebody.
Oh, I still can't. Please, Dave, don't sue me.
Who I did not like this, like one person, and their favorite band was Dave Matthews. They listened to him every day, and I heard them every day because I lived very close to this.
That's like an ex you'd put up with,
like,
even though she's a fan of like your most hated sports franchise. And then when you break up, you're like, yeah, and she's gone with all of her stupid fucking jerseys. I never have to see her bitching or whatever, like, wow, dude, who hurt you? It was like, what happened? She forgot to. Never mind.
No, I remember having to go see Dave Matthews 3 days in a fucking row. Because okay.
You know
and
what?
Just being like, I hope I never hear this.
You win.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Win.
You did it. You did it, man. What's your desert island? What's your number one then? What's your
my number one would be Elliot False Cathedrals.
Elliot. Wait. Hold on, I'm like, I gotta pull up Spotify
as we both grab our smartphones.
False Cathedrals.
Yeah.
Elliot. I feel like I actually have heard of Elliot. What kind of music is this?
In 2000.
Emo.
Okay.
I guess, gatekeeper of emo here. So emo.
Louisville emo.
Nice. Elliott Falls Cathedral. I've definitely heard of Elliott. I don't know how I've heard of Elliott, but
Cool.
I'm surprised.
Because they're fucking awesome.
Sick. Well, there you go. False Cathedrals and the Posies. Those are two things that I'll be listening to on the drive home today. So
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad I could open your eyes to something new. Instead of your mainstream, and
You are
which is totally
more
fine.
cultured now, Adam.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a flannel and grow a beard on the way home too. Get my hipster get up together.
Leather bound books.
Yeah.
I smell
Put your
rich
beanie on.
mahogany.
Get an IPA.
All right. Since we're talking about this, I'll start, Ryan. What would someone be really surprised to find out that you get tons of enjoyment out of listening to? Someone other than Adam, but somebody
that I enjoy listening to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know what it is. I know what it is for you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and tell me. I don't know.
It's Elton John.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but we gave that away earlier. So
I know.
I want to say something like Necrogoblicon or some shit like that. Just like really, never let them know your next move, bro.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, my gut wanted to go like back again to like classic. Like I actually have a kind of soft spot for big bands, so I have a bunch of Frank Sinatra records too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No. See, I listen every night when I'm having dinner, either to like Otis Redding, Billie Holiday, Etta James, Louis Armstrong,
There you go.
Lightning Hawkins, stuff like that.
I love Queen too. Like old Queen is definitely huge with me. So
Yeah, Queen's one of those bands too that people don't realize how many songs they actually had until you listen to their 3-disc greatest hits album. Like there's 3 discs of songs that you're like, I didn't even fucking know Queen sang the song, and it's like just they did so much, so amazing.
he did a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that. There were quite a few that I was going through. Like I had no idea.
They had faces.
Yeah. He also kind of had that weird like disco thing where he went like a solo for a bit, and you can hear it in a couple of their like Radio Gaga. Like I didn't really personally care for that song a whole lot. But then something like the acoustic ballad "Love of My Life," that one's super good too. That one just like you can tell was not trying to be anything. And it was also like made in an era where they were starting to become really, really experimental with a lot of audio production stuff.
Yeah,
with the way they would do a tape and analog. So
they did a lot of awesome things back then that got to experiment because they were allowed to, because they got to the point to where they were, and that's where. Did you see the Queen movie Bohemian Rhapsody?
I saw it.
I did not.
I saw it.
Yeah, so to me, and I'm still a big Queen fan, but I've read like every book there is on Queen, all the biographies, autobiographies.
Yeah, so I was the same in college. It was pretty inaccurate.
Yeah, it was very inaccurate, and like there was a moment that I always tell people in the movie that is so huge that they brush over, that I think that anybody that wants to be in a band or is in a band should understand the moment when Freddie Mercury comes back to the band and they're in the producers or the record label's office, and Brian May is sitting there and they're just like, hey, you can come back, but every song is a Queen song. And then they brushed over it, like not to explain anything, but how Freddie Mercury was the one who figured out song rights. He was the one making all of the money from all the Queen albums. And the other guys weren't, because he figured out the song rights. So he had all the songwriting and he had all the publishing, so he got paid all the money.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's why when he came back, and that was such a moment, I'm like, and I'm sitting there watching this movie, and I'm like, and when I get out, I start telling my buddy, I'm like, dude, that is like one of the most pivotal things. And it was so huge, and all the contention in the band was because of that. And the fact that they just, in 2 seconds, it was gone. I was like, fuck this movie.
Yeah. I mean, you cut people out, that ruins everything. That's a lot of what did in Guns N' Roses. That's what did in Mayday Parade. Like that's you. I don't know a lot about Queen, so like hearing that actually really bums me out, breaks my heart. That's so sad.
But in the end, they all got back together and hugged and loved each other. So
Okay, well that's good.
Live
Yeah.
Aid is legendary, and it wouldn't have happened without. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. All that
Yeah.
good stuff.
All right,
gotta
5 minutes left to live. Meteor
Yeah.
is going to crash into the earth. You can only listen to one song in that 5 minutes. What song are you listening to? Ryan, go.
Baby Shark, because my daughter won't stop crying, probably. No, I'm being serious. I was just like, wow, what if I'm thinking about a realistic scenario? No, okay.
Meteor's gonna crash into the earth. Is your question what would match the moment, or is your
No,
question
what are you listening to? What are you listening to at that moment? Like, what would you put on at that moment for, what's the last song you hear?
I would play.
Yeah, dude,
I know what I would play.
Complete total blank, honestly.
I know what I would play. You keep thinking about it. We're like at a table, and you got to keep reading the menu for a second. The last song I'd ever want to hear is the only song that makes me cry every single time I hear it, and it's the last song by the band Ludo on the Broken Bride EP. I think it's called Morning in May. I actually don't remember. Let me look real quick. But are you familiar with the Broken Bride EP?
No, I'm writing it down because I will be listening to it tonight.
Yeah, it is. So it's called Morning in May. It's a 5-song rock opera, and it was the band's first release. It was pretty fun choice to like do that as your first release and whatnot. But that last song, I can't listen to it in public because I will start weeping. It is so incredible, and the story of that album is what makes that last song have all of its meaning. So it's like it just tears me up every single time I hear it.
That's beautiful. Thank you for opening your heart to us.
Sure. You got anything yet, Ryan?
I have settled on Hollywood Died by Yellow Card off of their very unpopular Lights and Sounds record.
Wow, interesting choice. Yeah.
All
Hollywood
right.
Die.
Yeah, the
Nice.
closer. Because it's
Nice.
kind of dark, but then ends all orchestral.
Oh,
So
you love
I'm envisioning like the world blowing up, and it's like a string quartet like playing. It's like, wow, this is nice.
Yeah. You gotta you gotta play something that meets the moment of looking at a meteor crashing into Earth. You just gotta be there and be like, all right, this is the last thing I'm ever gonna feel. Make it big,
So you do like song and dance?
What do you mean?
Watching? Well, I mean, he just created that picture with the orchestra, so it is kind of a Moulin Rouge without the burlesque.
Oh yeah, Ryan. That's actually really funny that you say that, because Ryan actually sometimes does have a really theatrical flair.
Oh, sure.
In his harmonies and whatnot.
I definitely have that.
He likes that in the context.
I like
of a
to
pop
make
record.
it and experience it.
You're just not a musical guy.
I just don't want to go watch other people do it. I guess.
He's not. Yeah.
Look at this guy. He's standing at a fountain dancing and singing. I'm just trying to get lunch. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Well,
I got to help Ryan set up the drum kit.
Oh
for
yeah,
practice
go for it.
So
Yeah. So on that note, listen, I don't want to keep you guys any longer. I know you got band practice. So I mean, before we move into our final segment, which is our weekly threes, I'd give you guys the opportunity right now to tell everybody how it is defined, what Cold Weather Kids is doing, has done, and has coming up. So all your handles and shit like that.
I got distracted because I wanted to make sure Ryan could hear and he could. What was the question? I apologize.
No,
One more
worries.
time.
Yeah.
So right now you have the floor to tell everybody how to find everything that Cold Weather Kids is doing. So like all your handles for Instagram, Facebook, websites.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
sure.
for everything. You can actually find like a main link, a link tree to everything actually on coldweatherkids.com. We do own that. But all the go-tos, the populars on Instagram, we're CWK Band. On TikTok, Cold Weather Kids. On YouTube, Cold Weather Kids. On Facebook, Cold Weather Kids.
On Spotify, Cold Weather Kids.
On Apple Music, Cold Weather Kids.
Yeah. So it's a lot of Cold Weather Kids, and then CWK Band for Instagram.
Yeah, not trying to trick you by any means.
Yeah, we want no games being played. We just want visitors to hang out and have a good time.
Nice. All right. So we are in our final segment. It's our weekly threes. It's 3 things that you're listening to that you would like people to check out. So you give your 3, and then I give my 3. So Ryan can have 3, Adam, you can have 3, and then I give my 3.
3 things that you're listening to that you want people to check out. Ryan, what is it?
So I'm listening to Ghost Chant. They're a really cool New York hardcore band. I played them a bunch for the guys because I really liked their song Nothing Worth Keeping. It's pretty freaking awesome. In terms of like pop punk, I love the band House Parties out of Dallas, Texas. They just signed with Equal Visions. Congratulations to them. I think their singer Cheney has a phenomenal voice. And then I'm going through a Mayday Parade phase. So I'm going through their self-titled Mayday Parade record. And whenever I'm feeling a little tired from the kids or having stress from like work, I throw on the Mayday Parade record, and it just makes me feel like, wow, this guy was hurt more than I could ever be hurt in my daily life. So must not be that band. Yeah. So that's what I got for you.
Nice. Let's see. The 3 things that I'm listening to right now that I want other people to check out. Okay. The 3 things that I'm the most excited about. Sum 41 came back with a single called Landmines, and it is perfect pop Sum 41. It is one of the best songs, I think, that they've ever made. It's very Underclass Heroes vibes. So if you like that, that part of Sum 41's history, that record specifically, they are coming back with their last record, and I'm hoping that a lot of it's going to be a lot like Landmines, because I love that Sum 41. The other thing that I'm listening to right now is Post-Human Survival Horror by Bring Me the Horizon. That is my jam. I definitely have become a metal kid, and that is like, I just absolutely love that record. It's like harder than anything I usually listen to, but because it still has mainstream pop appeal, I'm obsessed with it. And I think Ollie Sykes is like one of the best singers in the freaking world. That guy's just so good. And then let's see, the last thing that I'm listening to that I want other people to listen to, that I wish other people would check out. I'm going to have to say, fuck it, man. I listen to a lot of podcasts. The Daily's my favorite. If you're interested in news, go listen to The Daily. They do such a good job. There you go. I'll take an awkward sideways out on the last one. The Daily's my jam.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So my 3. Yeah. My first one is a band called Gleamer. They have an EP called Here at All, and it's HERE.
Nice.
Next one is old emo kids getting back together later on in life and creating an amazing album. It's a band called Time Spent Driving, and the name of the album is Strangers.
Nice.
And last but not least is a British band called the Young Hearts. The name of the album is Somewhere Through the Night. Just awesome rock music. So those are my 3 for this week.
Nice. I've got so much to listen to from you today. Oh my goodness. I'll have to reach out and tell you how I did.
Please do. I really want to know what you think of the Posies and Elliot and all this stuff. It's the only reason why I put it out there is because I want people to listen to it. I want people to understand it and hear it. And hopefully one day they find, someone can find their new favorite band by either listening to the band that's on the show or the bands that get recommended during the show.
Totally. I love that. Well, awesome. Yeah. Great. Thank you so much, Shane. This has been super fun.
Thank you, Shane.
Well, you're welcome, guys. And thank you so much for, again, I said it at the beginning, but creating the music that brought us together. And everybody out there in the world, you know what time it is now. It's time to go out, listen to Cold Weather Kids, and have a great fucking time.
Still's no
love that guy.
It's always the same shit over again. Please change. And I can't stop thinking about everything that I fucked up. Said I would do better, but I've had no luck. It's hard to make a change when everybody sucks. It's always the same shit over again, again. It's always the same shit over again. And I can't stop thinking about all the excuses that I said I would do better, but it's all been talk. It's always the same shit over again.
I said, hold on.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.